Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. Honorable Secretary General, Ministers, government officials, and army officers, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Once again, I would like to thank you for your visit to Pakistan along with your delegation, and it is a matter of great encouragement. You have brought with you a message of empathy, support for the people of Pakistan, and more so for the people who are marooned and who are facing unprecedented difficulties and miseries. Government of Pakistan, along with provincial governments and all stakeholders, including Armed Forces of Pakistan, are all teamed together to provide relief and rescue to these millions of people. To be very exact, 33 million people are absolutely in dire conditions in the entire country. As we speak, efforts are in full gear. People are being removed to safe places, food and shelter being offered, but the challenge is absolutely beyond human capacities. Yet humans have to handle it, and we are. I would like to thank you for all your support from different countries and organizations, and your visit to Pakistan will provide you a first-hand info as to what is happening in the fourth nook and corner of our country. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and we are very grateful for this action of solidarity on your part. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister, Excellencies, I would like to express my enormous appreciation in this coordination center to all those women and men that have been working tirelessly to support the victims of this unprecedented natural disaster. I know how civil servants, volunteers, government officers, local government officers, the army, NGOs have been working together in a remarkable way to mitigate the suffering of the Pakistani people. Humanity has declared war on nature, and nature is striking back. But nature is blind. It is not striking back on those that have more contributed to the war on nature. Pakistan has given little contribution to climate change, but Pakistan is one of the most dramatically impacted hotspots by the consequences of climate change. So it's like nature has attacked the wrong target. It should be those that are more responsible for climate change that should have to face this kind of challenge, and if that would be the case, probably we would not have the present situation in climate change. So there is an obligation of the international community to massively support Pakistan in these circumstances, and there is an obligation of the international community to take seriously the need to drastically reduce emissions, and at the same time to support the countries that need to invest in adaptation, in resilience and recovery, as it is the case of Pakistan. And my voice is entirely at the service of the Pakistani government and the Pakistani people, and the whole UN system is entirely at the service of Pakistan. We know that our contribution is limited. We know that what we do is a drop in the ocean of the needs, but we are totally committed. And Pakistan is a country that I have in my heart. I have worked many years with Pakistan. When I was High Commissioner for Refugees, I've always seen the enormous generosity of Pakistanis hosting and protecting and assisting Afghan refugees. And I've always witnessed the enormous generosity of Pakistanis helping each other in past circumstances that I witnessed, the earthquake, the other floods, the dramatic displacement caused by terrorist activities. I always seen an enormous sense of solidarity, an enormous sense of community feeling in the Pakistani people. And so my admiration for this country and its people is limitless, and my solidarity with what the Pakistanis are suffering without having contributed to that suffering is total. I am entirely at the disposal of the government of people in Pakistan, and I'll do my best to raise awareness in the international community and to mobilize the whole Pakistan, the Pakistani government and the Pakistani people.
Thank you very much.
That there is a huge calamity which has befallen Pakistan. And in this huge calamity, the problem that has come is because of the rains that were 5 times higher than what we normally expect. If you see, in Sindh province, normally it would have been just 35 to 50 millimeters of rain in a complete season. And this year, it has been over 600 millimeters on the average, which is 508% higher than the average rainfall. This is also because of the changes that are occurring because of the ENSO and the Equino, and this has a strong bearing on the monsoon region. Next. So this map would show you what kind of rainfall we have received. If you would just remain on the red, you will find that this is the entire Sindh province. And in the north, you have the KPK. Both of them have received over 500 millimeters of rain, and at one place it was 752. This is near the world record of rain at any one place. We have had 5 spells till now. Next. So this purple will show you where water is standing as of now. This is in itself a complete lake, 100 kilometers wide. Differentiation between the Indus River and this place is near impossible. Next. If we compare it to the previous calamities, we had a loss of $5.2 billion in the earthquake of 2005, and the floods of 2010, which were 1/8 of this calamity, were 12 to 43 billion. This time, 1/3 of Pakistan is underwater. The losses will be much higher and much bigger. Next. So the area that we have underwater is bigger than UK, New Zealand, Portugal, Ecuador, or the states of Michigan and Colorado of the US. As you can see, we have lost 750,000 livestock as of now, and huge tracts of land, around 4 million acres, are underwater, which will affect our crops. Next. It is provisionally estimated that over $30 billion would be lost in this catastrophe. Next. Coming over to the Sindh province, as I've already shown, almost entire Sindh is underwater, and large tracts have water over 6 to 8 feet. Once this started, 9 locations were underwater, but now at 2 places, the national railway track is underwater, and we cannot run the national rail from Islamabad to Karachi. Next. This will just give you a glimpse of the water. If you could see Hamal Lake on 4th August, And now on 28th August, it seems that the entire area is Hamal Lake. Similarly, Kambar Shadat Kot, Shikarpur are all underwater. Next. So in the other provinces, we are out of rescue, but in Sindh, we are still continuing to do the rescue operations because the water is flowing downwards and has gone to Manchar Lake, which is the biggest freshwater lake in Asia. This lake has burst at 3 places and its water is now flowing towards the Indus. Today in the morning, we had to make a cut on the National Railway line as well as the N55 to make the water go towards the Indus. We are hopeful that in the next week or so, the situation will start stabilizing, but for 1 week, we have 160,000 people still in the area. Next. In the south of Sindh, the LBOD is carrying a large amount of water, but our districts are still underwater. And in Badin, the LBOD has broken its banks and is flooding the areas beside it.
Thank you, Excellency, for your time. And thank you for this very good presentation. Secretary General, I think what we have seen over here on the screen is a glaring manifestation of the climate change which has created this havoc in Pakistan. Today, Pakistan has faced the brunt. Tomorrow, it could be other countries and other regions. Therefore, I think it's high time that we take notice of this situation. As you have seen, we are passing through the phase of rescue and relief, and soon we'll be entering into the phase of reconstruction and rehabilitation, for which we need infinite amount of funding. Pakistan is doing its best with its meager resources, and of course, we thank international community for contributing in this behalf. And thank you, your organization, for supporting us. But unless we get sufficient support in terms of relief, in terms of repairing our damaged infrastructure, we will be in trouble. We are obviously completely undaunted by this challenge. We are all resolved, like in iron resolve, that we will, inshallah, be over the hump. But we need international support. And your talk today here and in the Prime Minister's office was like a Pakistani speaking from the core of his heart. Again, you have repeated the same words. Thank you very much. We are very grateful for your sincerity of purpose, your feeling for Pakistan, and together we shall be through this crisis. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
पर वो करोड़ों लोग जो इस वक्त पानी में घिरे हुए हैं, सूबा सिंध, बलूचिस्तान, केपी, पंजाब और दूसरे इलाकों में, वो ये बताने आए हैं कि हमें न सिर्फ पाकिस्तान के अवाम के साथ इस डोमेन में जो भी ज़राए हैं वो उनको अमल में लाएंगे और पाकिस्तान की इस मुसीबत की घड़ी में अवाम को रिलीफ दिलाने के लिए और जो हमारे पुल, हज़ारों सड़कें और ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम, कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम जो तबाह हो गया है, उसकी बहाली और मरम्मत के लिए जो कुछ भी इनसे बन पड़ा ये करेंगे। लेकिन आज इन्होंने जो बतौर सेक्रेटरी जनरल जो गुफ्तगू की है, मैं उससे बहुत मुतासर हुआ हूँ। अगर पाकिस्तानियों से बढ़ के नहीं तो पाकिस्तानियों की तरह इन्होंने गुफ्तगू की है, उनको एहसास को जाना है, उनको दुख में शरीक हुए हैं और दिल की अथाह गहराइयों से बात की है। मैं इन्हीं अल्फाज के साथ जनाब सेक्रेटरी जनरल का एक मरतबा फिर शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ। एंड नाउ सेक्रेटरी जनरल, इट्स ओवर टू यू। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Allow me first a few words to the Pakistani people and then to people around the world. To the Pakistani people, I am no stranger to Pakistan. I have a love affair with your country since 17 years ago, when I started my functions as High Commissioner for Refugees. And I've always witnessed your enormous generosity, receiving at the moment more than 6 million Afghan refugees, protecting, assisting them, sharing your meager resources with them. And I've seen your generosity, helping each other, family helping family, community helping community. When I came in 2005 because of the earthquake, when I came in 2010 because of the floods, and when I came later during the dramatic incursion of terrorism around Swat Valley and further when they are close to Islamabad and hundreds of thousands of people were displaced, and I was there with them. And so I know what it means for the Pakistani people, this unprecedented natural disaster. There is no memory of anything similar to what has happened with this impact of climate change on Pakistan. And I want to reassure you that we'll do everything possible to mobilize the international community to support your country and to support all of you in this very dramatic situation in which, beyond the numbers are appalling, but beyond the numbers, I see the families that lost their loved ones. I see the families that lost their houses. I see the families that lost their crops. I see the families that lost their crops, that lost their jobs, and that are living in desperate conditions at the present moment. And I've seen the enormous effort of response from civil servants, the government, from the army, from the NGOs, from the population, in an extraordinary demonstration of solidarity within the borders of Pakistan. But I want to say a few words to the international community. Pakistan needs massive financial support to respond to this crisis that have costed, according to some estimates I've heard today, about $30 billion and counting. And that support is entirely necessary, and it is not a matter of solidarity, it's a matter of justice. Pakistan has not contributed in a meaningful way to climate change. The level of emissions of this country is relatively low. But Pakistan is one of the most dramatically impacted countries by climate change, in the front line of the impact of climate change. And it is absolutely essential that this is recognized by the international community, especially by those countries that have more contributed to climate change, and that effective solidarity, effective justice is now shown by mobilizing massive supports for relief, for rehabilitation, or for reconstruction after these devastating impacts of the monsoon plus the accelerated melting of glaciers. And at the same time, this is the moment to say that we are heading into a disaster. We have waged war on nature, and nature is striking back, and striking back in a devastating way. Today in Pakistan, tomorrow in any of your countries. And we need to stop the increase of emissions and start reducing them now. And at the same time, we need to mobilize much more resources to support those countries that need to build resilience. It is what is called adaptation, that need to create the conditions to resist to the impact of these devastating disasters caused by climate change. And at the same time, as a matter of justice, to put seriously on the table in the next Conference of States Party of the Convention, the question of loss and damage. That is something that has been, until now, not discussed seriously in the international community. This is a time to mobilize the efforts of everybody against climate change, and this is a time to mobilize every goodwill in the world to support massively the Pakistani people in this dramatic hour.
You have been extremely kind, generous, and passionate.
I just
Your
said
help to
what I
Pakistan will help people in this
feel. I
country.
just said
Thank
what
you.
I feel.
नहीं? अंग्रेजी तो बोली मैंने. Well, I told you that this great human being, Sikh General, has spoken today language which is not only understood by the people of Pakistan, but by all those who have a human heart, who are compassionate, who have empathy, and who are generous, speaking from the core of the heart. And I am deeply touched by his message today, by his statement today. This is my first meeting with him, but after having met him, it seems that we have been together for many years. Thank you very much, General Secretary. And I assure you, whatever support we get from your institution and through your institution, I give you my word of honor, along with all these ladies and gentlemen sitting on this table, ministers, general officers, government officials, ladies and gentlemen, that every penny we get from you or from wherever, we will spend it most transparently and in the interest of the suffering humanity. Thank you.
Thank you.
सेक्रेटरी जनरल एंटोनियो गुतेरेस और वजीर आजम शहबाज शरीफ मुश्तरका प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे थे.
सबसे ज्यादा व्यूज, सबसे ज्यादा रील्स और सबसे ज्यादा रेटिंग के साथ बोल अब भी नंबर 1 पोजीशन पर बरकरार.
सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल दबाएं ताकि कोई खबर रह न जाए.